All right, my people, what's good? This your boy. I'm kicking it with y'all this day, man. We's good with y'all. Welcome back to the show. I've been super grinding, so it's the first time I had a chance to like pull my hair back. But what's good, man? I'm gonna talk to y'all today, man. It's a weekly recap of some of the major stories that's happening out there. You know what I'm saying? We got LA fires, Jim Jones and Cam snapping. There's a lot more other stuff going out there. We're gonna try to tap into some of those little stories. You know what I'm saying? And on the major front, LA. What's up with LA? The whole place is on fire right now. It's lit up there. It's going crazy. Let me actually check my sound because I remember that you got to check the sound on here. Wow, it's working. Sometimes on the first stream, it never comes in right on the actual sound. So maybe they fixed that glitch. Yeah. So as we delve into another week into the new year, and welcome to the new year if you haven't heard, if I haven't said it to you. But it's crazy out here. I've been posting this week on a podcast, and it's just like wow, you know what I'm saying? So California got these fires, and a lot of people have been saying like a lot of stuff on the internet. There's a lot of people saying it's like the end of the world because of these fires, and a lot of people have been saying that it's just like people literally setting the fires in these particular cities in California, LA to be exact, LA County. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of that going on. You know what I'm saying? If you see the footage from the TV, they got it, or the videos on the internet, they got like a large space is burnt up, and people got these mansions out there and shit like that. I think they said the first person who housed, they claimed at least, got burnt down was Paris Hilton. It's looters running around out there. You know what I'm saying? So they saying on the news. And then another people were saying, and it's just somebody. These are theories that if they saying people like Paris Hilton crib got raided, then maybe they talking about people that's trying to hide evidence from people like for the Diddy situation. I don't know. It's just theories on the internet, and it's kind of crazy and a little wild to think about. But I mean, here you go with multimillionaires and billionaires. So who would really know what they doing or what moves they making? You know what I'm saying? But those cribs out there is crazy. And then you would even sometimes wonder, like, why would you want to live so close up on mountains and shit like that? And you know what I mean, like all the animals that's getting affected by the fire and shit like that. These people got big gigantic cribs sitting on hills. You know what I'm saying? And they even saying that a lot of that shit is not even accessible by feet. Like you can't even walk up on these cribs. You know what I'm saying? Or walk up on these areas where the fire is burning. And it's a long stretch. I don't know exactly how long the stretch is, but if you see it from the sky, it's about at least a 2 or 3 miles. You know what I mean? Of just forest. You know what I'm saying? You could see some houses down there, and they burning close as hell to the ones that still standing. But it's really like a phenomenon because I mean, you want to be secluded or away from black people, if you will, the broke people and shit. But you can see that a lot of that stuff they can't control because if it's not an actual fire, it got landslide. What's that? Yeah, landslides from the mountains. You know what I'm saying? It's like big ass craters and shit could fall down on your crib. You know what I mean? Trees can just collapse. You know what I'm saying? But I guess they built for it. I can't say or not. But I mean, some of the footage coming out is like weird. They got like firefighters with purses dipping purses in the water, taking it to put out fires, and it's like, huh? But to me, it's like like they tripping about Karen Bass, the lady up there, saying that she's the mayor and she's a black lady, that she's responsible or somehow the city got something to do with the reason why that stuff happening. Then they don't talk that shit until a black person is actually in charge because it's been shit set on fire in California with the trees and all that shit for decades, and everybody know that. Like you hear it every year. It's just like tornadoes or earthquakes down in the Florida, hurricanes in Florida. You always hear about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So every year. So now all of a sudden it's happening and it's supposed to be connected to the city, whatever that's all about. It's like Khloe Kardashian talking shit. I don't know if that's true, but even if they are, like, what the fuck can she do? Like, let y'all use her hose at the crib because you're supposed to be firefighters, and if you needed this kind of equipment and shit, y'all know fires coming every year. You know what I'm saying? So why ain't you prepared? I think that'd be the good question. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a snow blizzard happening in Colorado, and they talking about our machines to move the snow don't have no tires on. Well, you had all summer to say that you needed tires for the machine, or the fucking lift thing strong enough to lift the snow, whatever it is, so motherfuckers can get that together. So it's a lot of all that going on in California. California is a dope ass place. It's a dope ass place to live. The weather's always right. But they knew it was going to turn into a fire hit at some point. And to sit here and try to put some kind of cloak over the eyes of the people and make it seem like it really wasn't going to be like that this year for some particular reason, or they wasn't ready for it, it's crazy. But this should teach them not to move their ass all the way up in the little areas. You know, some of these areas on the planet is just for animals. It ain't really for humans to dwell in that little area. You know what I'm saying? It's just something, some shit is just not for humans to be at. And even if you can be there because you can shoot the animals, or if you can be there because you're a wilderness person, it's still shit that the country or the world you can't control. Like, you know, hurricanes, monsoons and shit, and tsunamis. If you sit in those locations, it don't matter what the fuck you do or whoever you are, you're gonna be overwhelmed by nature. So it's like these guys, they need to figure that one out, because you know, it's like the people who live in Tornado Alley and then they build and then they rebuild. You know, oh, I can't leave from over here. This is where I was born and raised, but it's Tornado Alley. So in another 3 years, 5 years, it comes swipe their house right back down. So it's like, you know, I don't know. That's just, and you know, when you talk about people in places like Chicago, you got murderous people, people that, you know, use guns. You know what I'm saying? So then the people say, yo, why the hell you stand there? Just leave. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I understand that. But then you got places like those places where it's more natural, where natural shit happening. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could move away from people that's violent, but if it's a fucking tornado city, it ain't too many places you can go. You're gonna be affected by it at some point, even if you can't get back to the city to go handle business because the city got hit with a fucking hurricane or a tornado or a fire. You know what I'm saying? So, and motherfuckers talking about it's the end of the world. I don't believe shit like that. You know, you can talk all the Bible thumping and all these ideas and shit. That's not real. You know, humans is one thing, but the world is a whole big ass thing that ain't got nothing to do with what you read in a book or nothing like that. There's places on this earth that humans can't even succeed or actually survive, is what I mean to say. So how you just gonna destroy the earth or global warm the earth with some shit that's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's just as ridiculous as a human saying that they're going to save a whale. How does the world thank you? How does the world receive these things? It's not even true, but whatever. So I just believe that LA is a dope place, and I hope they clear that up because you know the Olympics coming in like 2 years, and it's supposed to be big time. That's probably what they're doing, burning this bitch up now so they can get some money, so they can turn up maybe to some Olympic Village in 2 years or something like that. You got to pay attention to the Palisades, so in another few years you will see exactly what that place needs to go on fire first. You know what I'm saying? Because like somebody's been saying, they don't never say Watts is on fire. They don't say South Central is on fire. They never say that none of these other cities up there where black people dwell is on fire. And then I was jokingly saying, yeah, because they need the city to run the next day. Yeah, this place could be on fire, but we still need motherfuckers at Dunkin' Donuts, Walmart, Target, you know, all these stores and Panera Breads and shit around the country to run. So don't this place will never burn. They got motherfucking shields up. They got waterfalls surrounding the black area or the workers area, so fire can't even penetrate that area. So it's just funny as hell how it only happens in the most expensive area. So at least those people get to be like, yo, my house burnt up. Here go the money for it. This is mine. I paid for it. I need government intervention because it's supposed to help me in case of a natural disaster. I paid $31 million for this house. So that's a part of my insurance. You know, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But another interesting story that swept across the internet is Jim Jones getting into a real crazy situation with Dipset, which is Cam. You know, Cam is basically the CEO. He started the brand. He kicked it off, and it's always been like a stamp in hip hop. You know, somebody like me who grew up in hip hop my entire life and then rocking with the niggas in the early 2000s and just fucking with them heavy. This before the internet, this before all of this shit. So it was just rap. You know, you fuck with rap if you fuck with rap. And that just became who I am. It's just all my life since I was a little bitty kid, learning every fucking lyric to raps, to even making rap in my older era I'm in today. So I always rock with them. And they was dope. And they brought a serious effect in the hip hop game. You know, not just fashion, but wordplay and how they did the metaphors and the crew idea, having 5 or 6 guys that was individuals and shit. But you know, the guy Jim Jones, he never was like in front of the camera as far as a rapper. He was always just a part of the crew, and maybe he considered himself muscle, whatever his job was, the capo. second in charge and all this shit. And that happened for major years, especially back then. You know what I'm saying? So then maybe 5, 7 years in, he came out with his own song, which is Ballin'. And that actually came out with Certified Gangster, which is a song came out right before that. Him and The Game came out. Oh, that song, or I think The Game was in his music video. I forgot. It's been so many years. But then he came out with Ballin', maybe a few years later. He was doing music videos and all that shit for the guys, but when he dropped Ballin', that took over the world. As I said, I went to New York that year, and when you rode through, it was just posters everywhere. The radio was just playing, motherfuckers on the bus. It was just Ballin' was a huge ass song. So he got that celebrity status that he wanted to get. But now he needed his homies to back him the same way he was backing them. And I just don't think it all worked out the same way. So they probably didn't see him like that when everything started and we're running. And even in the interview he did with a guy on the internet, he said Justice or some Levon or something like that. The guy, he was saying that they all started in his grandmother's house. She had passed away, so he was like, he had the crib to himself, so he was seeing Cam and him all the time, running into them, because Cam said he stayed his grandmother stayed in that area too, in the same building. So he was like, yo, come over here, y'all can kick it. And they ended up starting going over here to kick it, doing rap, smoking blunts, just chilling. And ultimately, that was the foundation for them launching a career and a brand and all that shit. And, Cam got signed to a deal, and it was just, they took off. But then Cam and Mase stopped being homies. This is what Cam had put a video up recently days and talked about how they had stopped being homies because it just, Mase got money. He was just living big. He was getting private jets where they had to go and fly commercial and all that. He kind of felt funny about all that shit Cameron did. So he was like, we was homies when we were shorty. So he faded up off Mase and started rocking more with Jim Jones, and then they ended up making it in the industry. And their songs was big. They was huge at that time. And so you just expected them to just kind of stay around for all these years. But again, the big thing happened within their crew where Jim Jones ended up calling up to the radio station. I think it was Angie Martinez's show at Hot 97, whatever one she was at that time. And he called up there and then got into a beef with 50 Cent and Cam over the radio. Cameron kicked the beef off between 50 Cent and himself. But, Jim Jones was kind of in the background like, yo, I'm trying to do these concerts and build my brand up, and you dissing the guy who got the record and who got the spot right now. He the biggest rapper. He doing big ass concerts and venues, and we just doing little local shows. I need to be up with this nigga. So I guess Cameron didn't see that he was beefing so hard. He didn't want to actually calm down and kick it with 50 Cent. So that's when the notorious moment happened when Jim Jones actually went on a countdown show with 50 Cent on a BT countdown show. 50 Cent said, yeah, I got a special guest coming out later. So we watching the show on countdown, 25 songs. And then at one point, maybe 3 to 5 songs later, however many left, he brought out Jim Jones, who was just shocked. It was like, what the fuck is Jim Jones doing? They were just beefing with Cam on the radio. That's crazy. Cam had dropped like 4 or 5 songs like Curtis. They was going back and forth. And that was crazy. You looked like it was over with between Dipset at that point, because it was like, what the fuck would he be going back behind Jim Jones and them? I mean, going back behind Cameron back like that and kicking with 50. Well, it never panned out. He never actually stayed down with 50 Cent and them. I guess he got back with Jim Cameron over the years. He saw the beef happening a little bit online, but then Jim Jones started doing his thing independently. He got Vamp Life. He just been rocking out, just being a rapper. And then, Cameron was rapping for a little bit more, but then they transitioned over to the podcast. What it is. It's huge. It took over the fucking internet. It's the biggest podcast in the hip hop world right now for sports. And so now they throwing shots at him. Cameron interviewed 50 Cent. It's like 20 years later after they beef, maybe 15, however many years later after they beef. And they was talking, and they was mentioning Jim Jones, and wondering like, why would he do that? What happened? And 50 Cent told his little piece about it, like, I was just trying to get going with him and all that shit, but it just really never panned out. But he was just like, why would he go over there? And 50 Cent's like notoriously a person that can get into people groups and make them go against each other. So it just was happening like that, which made it seem like Cameron lost that beef because he lost his homie in that little interim. Well, most time, since to this day, they still ain't tight. It don't seem like they tight. They dissing Jim Jones, and Jim Jones coming right back. Like, look, fuck what y'all talking about. Ultimately, Jim Jones is after he beefed and talked his shit on that little Levine guy show, he was talking about how he had whooped their ass. And he was like, I did it before. That's why you got to see it. He was like, yo, they know what's up. They was like, you ain't, what about you ain't getting into a beef with them when you went to go kick with 50 Cent back in the day? He said, I didn't care about that. Anybody could say whatever they want to say, and I would have handled it right there. Nobody said nothing. And the perception all these years is that Cameron was the boss. So what you mean Cameron didn't say nothing? What you mean Cameron didn't have nothing to say? So that's why I was like in my post that it looked like it got dangerous because he was really speaking from a truth point of saying that I'm just not in a weight room pumping weights and shit like that all the time. You see me doing 100,000 pull-ups and then one of these niggas gonna treat me or disrespect me. It ain't never been like that. Basically, what I put on these niggas in the street for our crew, I put on their ass if I had to. So nobody knew not to cross me or say nothing foul. When I went over there and kicked it with 50 Cent, they knew that I was doing that shit only to try to make us better and them better. But then he cleared it up. He was like, I'm laughing at them and I ain't got no beef with them and I hope they succeed. And they was on vacation at that time when he made this statement. So they came back, Cameron and Mase, and they both put up big videos on their post on It Is What It Is podcast post and was saying that Mase post was basically like that video of Jim Jones saying that Mase taught him how to rap. And he said that in his video that, Mase taught me how to rap. So basically saying Mase was like, you throwing shovels at me and throwing sticks at me, but nigga, you wouldn't even be a rapper if I ain't show you how to rap. So what beef? Because you wouldn't even be a person that even understood this game of rap if I didn't sit down and show you how to do it. So I ain't even finna get involved with that beef. And he was like, I'm down for any kind of beef, whatever kind of smoke you want. I ain't dodging no smoke in his post. And then Cameron just put an old video up which is a long video, probably like a 25-minute video of him in a few years ago talking about how they all met. At just one moment, he just broke the whole Dip South history down and he reposted that on his shit. Just talking about how they all got together and how it all started in Jim Jones' grandmother's house. They was already knew each other, but this is where they was able to get together and kind of formulate the whole process and jump out there. So it was just like one of those things that you can kind of don't know what's going on, but it showed the dynamics of if you're in a crew, everything ain't gonna be peachy cream. It ain't gonna be all a slide and cool. That guys grow older and people, become men, and now just the same shit that they used to slide back in the day might not. Even though it's love, even though it's still friendship. And then sometimes it's just playful. It's like, yeah, you can talk shit. Y'all just talk shit. Like, talk your shit. Who cares? Hello? Yo. Okay. Accidental call. Yeah, so and I think it's more like that playful homie shit. They're not really beefing it. What the Ross Cloud? Yeah.
Are you finna use your bathroom?
No. Go ahead.
I'm finna go to the gas station there and cut my hair when I get back.
Go. Hello? Okay, there's all these fake calls. I'm gonna have to put that on silent. Yeah, so anyway, it's like homies grow old and they kind of lose connection with each other just because of how it work, you know what I'm saying? And that's a part of the game. It shouldn't even be nothing to make you mad about a life or nothing like that. It's like shit, motherfuckers get older and they don't be in each other's face no more. It's really a respect thing because as a man, you shouldn't want to be in nobody else's damn face every day, every weekend, all the time fucking with them because when some shit go down, it's gonna be big. And then if it's kind of y'all faded up off each other, some shit go down, it's just Thursday afternoon. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna really trip you. And Jim Jones made a response video in there, but it wasn't like, and I don't even think it was a video. It was like maybe just like a post, and he was basically saying some more positive grown man shit. Like, I moved on from all that shit. I ain't got no beef with nobody. I'm like an adult now, and I'm kicking it more. So, finding my way in life and taking care of my family, and that's the most important thing. And that's respectable because it's like these your homies and y'all niggas that made money together and had this long-term relationship. And then you get to see how Jay-Z and Jim and Dame Dash just lost connect for 30, 40 years and shit like that. All this time they went by, they ain't even had no reunion. They ain't got back with each other and been like, yo, what's up, motherfucker? Hey, get back. All the niggas, come on, man. You know what we did back in the day? It's like, in order for me to go and be around these white people, I got to delete everything that happened with us in the past. I can't reminisce. I can't have you around me. It's like, damn. Guys be that motherfucking treacherous. Like you ain't gonna never fuck with us. Like it ain't never no reunion weekend. Like even Jay-Z went to the Tom Brady birthday party, didn't go to the 50-year reunion. So people change. You know what I'm saying? Is it for the better? Is he dodging somebody? Like whatever it is, people switch up and they don't want to do that no more. That's just what it be. So it's like that's a lot of times I think what happened with Jim Jones and them. Like Jim Jones finally got into the rap game and he liked it more. It's like you can give a person a fish sandwich, or you can give him a fish pole and teach him how to fish. And teaching Jim Jones how to fish, he just liked that shit. That's where he liked to be. But it's old to Cam and Mase because they've been doing this shit way before and had deals and all that shit. So it's like, who cares? And it's almost like when you graduate 8th grade and then you've been to high school maybe 2 years, and you go back and see the 8th graders again, they be way little. You'd be like, whoa, shit. Damn, I thought I was that small. Like, what the fuck going on? Like, they'd be way smaller in stature physically. You'd be looking at that, it's like, wow, they little ass people. I mean, that's probably some big kids still, but it'd be like the most part, you looking at them like, damn, they fucking shorties. I must have looked like a little kid when I walked around here. But you didn't see yourself as that during the time. You had to graduate and move on before you could look back and be like, damn, that's what I was on every day. And I think that's what Cam and them got going on because now they in a podcast space, they successful in it. And so rap is like, hey, without Cam. Cam used to freestyle on his shit every day or once a week or whenever he did it. But it's not like that's their priority because, we can podcast, we can make money, we can talk with our voice. We don't have to, you got to catch me on an interview or a podcast. It's my own shit. I can talk my voice. This is my platform right here. You probably got a platform out there on your own and you get to speak your truth. You know what I'm saying? So friends don't always be tight forever. You know what I'm saying? At points, they lose vibes, and that shouldn't be always a bad thing. It should just be something that you just grow from. You know what I'm saying? But they all from Harlem, and everybody know Harlem stick together and got a tight little clique and shit like that. And they got their history and shit like that. But it is what it is, and that's the name of their podcast, matter of fact. But the last, well, not so much of the last, but the last one I'm gonna speak about that I wrote about on here is Fat Joe, and apparently he got kicked off the BET Hip Hop Awards, which was like real crazy because he had said something foul on Math Hoffa's show about 2 weeks back, where he got on there and said, "Forget FFBA, fuck FBA, Foundation of Black Authority," instead of saying Foundation of Black America. And it's a history of Foundation of Black America, the FBA, and what it's all about, what it means. I'm not saying everybody needs to know, everybody do know, but it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you don't know. But just like in anything else, if you don't know, if you do know, if you diss the people that's regarding that, especially if the, as they call it, the J people, they don't play that. And if you do that one time, just once, everything you got going is a cutoff. Everybody that's connected to them cutting you off. And it's just like that. So when you talk about a person that's rocking in the hip hop dimension, it's not like you necessarily doing it with the J people, but you're doing it with the Black people. And we over here, we rocking with you, we support you. We talking about decades that went by, and everything you did, we supported you. People you said support, we supported them. But in 2 seconds, you can say F us. Maybe you are dumb, and maybe you don't know what's going on. But let's say you found out after the fact. Let's say you said what you said, and then somebody pulled you to the side and say, "Hey, dude, this means this, that, and the third." That would prompt you to be like, "Yo, hey, my fault. When I was talking what I was saying, this is what I really meant." So when you don't see a person do that, then in the Black side, we look at that as being Anglo-Saxon. That's like being a white person. Like, okay, well, I can say what I want to say because I said it from this pretense and I meant from this regard, and it don't matter if you took it that way because maybe I didn't mean it like that, but I'm not going to apologize. So then we have to look at that as just what? Disrespect. Because if we support you and then you feel like you don't even have to say nothing about disrespect, if we feel like you disrespected us, then fine. Then all the Black people jumped online in the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and just tore this nigga apart. You know what I'm saying? Went crazy on that motherfucker. Told his ass what it was. And he didn't respond. So all of this dropping heavy castigation on him on the internet. And then finally it rocked. He had to make that announcement on some interview saying, BT don't know this yet, but I stepped down and I'm passing it to what's his name? 2 Chainz. Is that going to be true? We don't know. But this is what came out of Fat Joe's mouth. Instead of saying, I'm sorry to the FBI on his next interview, hey, man, this is what I really want to say, he just did that. And it's almost like a sense of, I'm straight now. I'm good. I got what I need. So if you got something to say about what I'm doing, then that's just your conversation because it don't matter to me. I'm straight. My finance is good. I do what I need to do. I basically been able to culture vulture off the hip hop experience, and I don't need you no more. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, aha, look at you. Now you want me to say something or make some kind of point, and I ain't doing it. I'm looking at you like you're a fool. So be it. You the dummy. But having to lose that right there, it shows that the steps is going to start happening. He messed up when he disrespected the FBA, which is basically just foundational Black Americans, instead of calling ourselves Black people, which we didn't name ourselves. African Americans was supposedly named by Jesse Jackson when he was running for president in the 80s, and Black came from James Brown when he was making some, in the 60s before our time. So now these are, and Negro, you obviously know that came in the slave times, and nigger came in the slave times. So it's just times where words have depicted the Black people in this country, and then for once, and wow, somebody chose a name, and the guy who chose the name or brought it to the forefront, Fat Joe dissing him, talking about some you the leader. And look at him, this nigga. And it's like, dude, slow down with all of that. Do you know what's happening? Okay, then let's just formulate it in this respect. Stop saying the word nigga in all your songs for just one album and flip that word for spit. Just say it. Just use that word as a switch up, and let's see what your album do. Because let's not just pour all of our what I need to succeed off of this into hip hop and blackness. Pour that shit into your culture, which is what you claiming is who you are. All of this all started because initially people was claiming that Black people started hip hop, and Fat Joe was one of the main components of people opposing it, saying they didn't. That Puerto Ricans was there 50-50. Well, that's not true, and everybody know that that's not true. But let's just take the argument, prove it, and then you got to basically prove it with people who was dancing or coming around the parties later on, because you know that that's not true. But let's, and then, well, why even throw something in the game like that if you're supposed to make your money from Black people, you succeed off of Black people, you love Black people? Why even say something like that? But fine, you said it. Your boy heard that shit, Busta Rhymes. Now he threw his 2 cents in there. He started saying Jamaicans started rap, and it's like, what? Why is these guys from different cultures that they came from claiming that they get that rap music, which is automatically rhythmic American poetry? Why would they be saying that their cultures created this or was even a part of the creation of it? There's no way. I'm not going to go deep into how and why, but the reality of it is the evidence proved that there's no way. Because if the music was made that we or the young people who produced the early hip hop songs came from Black musicians, then obviously it was Black people who was creating the music. And the dancers, do I got to say who the dancers came from? Like, some of the stuff is just self-explanatory, but it doesn't make sense why somebody who make the money from Black people, who their culture that they get all of their money, and come on, a person that came from Hispanic descent, Cuban and Puerto Rican, is going to host the Black hip hop awards? That doesn't even make sense. But let's just say they did it. Let's just say for some reason the producer, that's your maybe mama, let's just say she did that. What reason do you think you can diss those people who's supposed to sit in the room and watch that? No Jamaicans are going to watch the hip hop awards of Chicago or America enough for ratings to blow up. No Puerto Ricans are going to watch the hip hop awards enough for ratings to be a factor. You need Black people to watch that because that's our culture. Hence the word Black hip hop awards. You know what I'm saying? So if a person don't feel like that's something that they need to be doing, I know they don't call it Black hip hop awards, but obviously the word hip hop is synonymous with Black, and it's supposed to be where a person would want to respect the people that was considerably his constituents. But the total disregard, to feel like you don't have to respond, is people who online who's writing letters to everybody who Fat Joe got a brand connected to. Everybody he connected to, no matter what he do with them, whether it's behind the scenes, a concert, whether it's fucking a sponsorship, a meeting, they write letters to these people saying, "Hey, this is what Fat Joe did to the Black American community." So you couldn't just easily just apologize. So to have this disregard and this staunchness that you're not going to respect the people who you make the money off of, that's typical Caucasian colonialism, and nobody in the Black culture is going to rock with that today because of the internet. So before this, you could do that, and it'd just be like maybe something else will happen and then forget about it. But then you talk about where the internet is happening, where you could cut the computer on at any point and somebody is talking shit about Fat Joe or following up on what he did or telling everybody something else, or even his ops. Like, he got some guys who don't like him. I think they was Big Pun family, and they was or friends, and they was like, They don't like him, and anytime something go wrong, they some of the first people saying, "Hey, look what this guy did." So I ain't saying that should scare you from being who you are, speaking your position. But why add to that? Why add a whole race of people who, the ones who do know what FBA mean, or do have respect for that, or want the name to be changed, or whoever? Why we look at that in a bad way, or disrespect those people and then just get on with your life? It's not going to be that easy. And he should have seen that coming. He should have saw that, But I think that the arrogance and the fact that he doesn't make his money directly from black people, which means that we don't have to walk inside his store and buy from him to make him make all his bills meet. He probably got stores you can buy stuff from him, but I'm saying he doesn't need that to live his ultimate life. He can even probably close those stores and still make money from the Hollywood world enough to succeed. So if we turned our back on him and said we're not going to support his stuff, he probably got enough money or enough people supporting him on the other side where he don't need our money. And so we have to look into the future people like a Fat Joe and say, okay, well, who is this person that's trying to say they rap and they from this particular culture? And they claiming hip hop, or they got this particular swag that we believe is authentic. Should we give that person that kind of support and back them to that level that we gave to a Fat Joe? If ultimately he just gonna get $5 million or $50 million and then be like, who? I don't remember being in no black people areas. It's just a lot of people that do that game with us, and a lot of times I personally believe that they win or they won or they gained something. But it's really stupid because look at it as a person that's a creator. You can look at black people as a creator. So if we created something, what would you think we just couldn't create something else? And then when you try to come shuck your ass over there to try to be a part of it again, you just get pushed out. You just get looked at as a fool. And that's where he's going to be from this point forward, where it probably ain't affecting his money to a harsh degree today. But the brother 55 years old. So as time progressed, when you might want to push another campaign or somebody calling you to be in front face for something, you can't be the front face in front of black people because there's going to be a lot of people that's not going to show up. And that's going to reverberate. So now 5 years down the line, it's like, hey, shit, what am I going to do? Because I got to make investments. I got to do something different. See, support that's coming from a culture is big. It's a lot. It's a lot to it. And this is why you shouldn't play with it. You know what I'm saying? So if I remember when I was a young kid, it was a karate dude. His name was Jim Kelly. He was black. I never really had seen his face when I was a kid. I just heard the dudes in the hood talking about him. We on the basketball court. They always talked about this guy named Jim Kelly, but I was young, so I never really saw his face. So when a movie came out, now I'm older. I don't know, 10, something, 8, whatever, 9, and the movie was fucking huge. Now I got to see who Jim Kelly was. His name, he was a black dude. He had sideburns, black sideburn hair that came out here and a big ass afro. But this is the 70s. The reason I had never seen him is because I was born in 73. And this movie was made in 73. So I had to get older to watch TV to see who this person was and connect the dots. So the movie was called Into the Dragon. And the star was Bruce Lee. So, as a kid, you like everybody talking about Bruce Lee. It was obviously, maybe before your time, but this guy was fucking amazingly big. Like everybody had the picture on their walls, whoever house you went over. So finally, I got a chance to see the only black dude that was in the movie was Jim Kelly. And so it was like, oh, okay. And eventually you watch the movie, he ended up getting killed in the movie. And then you're a kid like, damn, that was the guy who they was talking about. On the court. I finally got a chance to see him in the movie, and he ended up getting killed in the particular movie. But he had a good character, and it was like a memorable character for a black kid watching him. But I remember in my conversation I'm talking about today with y'all, Jim Kelly didn't come out after that trying to be Asian. He didn't come out after that trying to be a new person that is going to be accepted in Japan or China or Korea. He still was a black guy after that movie. And he knew karate. He knew how to do his shit. He was a part of I'm sure, the martial arts community or something like that. But he didn't change his identity to be who those people were. He just was a person that was black that knew karate. And there's other people in the world like that who you probably know. So if he would have been trying to become an Asian guy or showcasing himself as this new dude that's really got this Asian background and you just didn't know it, but I'm going to tell you, I really am from Asia. My great-grandparents, nobody would believe this. And even in 30 years in the future, they'll still be saying, he don't want to be black. He played in that one damn movie and he's still walking around here like he's some motherfucking Asian nigga. Like, this dude is crazy. So that's the Fat Joe. He can't see it. because it's worked. It's actually worked out. If he wanted to go and kick it in the black culture, he did and succeeded. Now, if we call him a culture vulture today, with his bank account, he don't give a shit. So it's the same feeling. So now you're looking at this guy and saying, well, damn, should we keep supporting this person? We have to look at you as a culture vulture now because you ain't like us. You don't fuck with niggas because it'll be easy for you to be like, my fault, man. That ain't what I meant, man. I meant to say this and la 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 la. Hey, put that in the past. That shit over with. And people have really put that shit in the past. But it's the quiet and the not saying nothing that make you stand out like a motherfucker. And it just look like, you know what? That dude don't fuck with us right there. And if anybody say something about that guy or mention him around me, I gotta call him out and diss him full throttle. I can't never let nobody say nothing around me about that dude because ultimately he showed us what he is. And it's been 2-3 weeks he ain't said a word about dissing black people. He ain't said shit. Even the guys on the show he was in, they was black dudes, actual black dudes, and they all had to come to the fucking front. Each person that was on that show had to literally be like, oh, I didn't know what it was, or this is what my opinion is, or I took Fat Joe's opinion on that. And a lot of people had to respond. Fat Joe didn't. So it just make you think, man, you know what I'm saying, about guys like that. And is it important to support them? Is it important to give them your money, show them that you like them, let them niggas know that you support them, or should we just look at them as culture vultures? They got a word called tethers, and should we just look at them as tethers? If you haven't heard what the word tether means, a tether is a person that particularly is looked upon as black, like me and you or whoever you are in the world, that's a black person. But most times they're from another culture, another country. They family is, if maybe they was born here, but they from another country ultimately. And then if something positive happened in their house or their family or for them, and they be like maybe a PhD or the first person to get this job, or they're a scientist, then instead of saying I'm the first black person, they'll say I'm the first Nigerian. I'm the first Cuban. I'm the first Haitian. And it'll be like, what? So that has been coined as a tether, a person that's never really want to claim to be black unless something go bad. Like if the police shoot their family member or something like that, then it's like, oh shit, actually, a black person was shot. And it's like, wait, who? And then they say like his name is some foreign name, and it's like, wait a minute, that's a black dude. They ain't a black dude. And then it's just been like that because black people have been trying to say that a lot of those cultures don't respect us and love us and show us camaraderie over here in America after all the fight that black people did in this country to get rights. So a lot of that disrespect is a lot of times where black people don't have the respect back for those people. So when Fat Joe did that, it was just basically a point that people had already been saying. Y'all don't like us. At the first chance you get to diss us, you will. And even though he was saying the word nigga on that show, and it sounded very, very venomous. It didn't sound like the term of endearment. It sounded like these niggas, these broke ass niggas. And it's like, hey, bro, you're not black, bro. But their argument is, oh, in New York, we grew up with black people, so we could talk like that. So it's just a lot of rigmarole. So y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. I'm finna dive off of here, jump into my next mission, and I appreciate y'all watching, subscribing, rocking with me. All right, like and share this post.